Are you there? Let me get that.
Yeah, I can't see you. Okay, there you are.
Let me see. We're a few minutes earlier, but you know, hopefully people will join us very soon. In case if there's anybody there, I'll give a couple of minutes to people to sort it out. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Just let me get this started. Well, thank you for joining me. This is Tumi Yukii. She is one of my favorite YouTubers ever. You know, I follow a few. I am very, very happy for you to join me. This is a great day for me too. I won my court case. I won the court case, so I'm very, very happy. But I'm even happier you're here with me, so because there's so much going on that we can talk about. I want to hear your views and to see what's happening. So thank you for joining me, Tumi. You're so amazing. So tell me, you have you been keeping up with the news about what's going on with the royal family?
Yeah, there's been so much. I've honestly tried to distance myself a little bit from Meghan and Harry because they're not really doing anything, but they're still always putting out these PR stories. So I'm tired of them. I'm very tired of the two of them, but like everybody else, I've been trying to keep up with because they're actually interesting and do things on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, I've heard about the whole, you know, Charles, you know, cash thing that they're doing an investigation on, and the Queen being in, you know, bodily pain. That's kind of sad. That's pretty sad. And of course, you know, William taking a trip to Dubai, and Catherine's going to be taking a trip pretty soon. And, you know, of course, Andrew. So, you know, a lot of people they've been asking me for 2 years to talk about Andrew, but I've kind of just refused because, of course, you know, things are nation. But I think now it's fair game to talk about him. But I don't think I can say something that hasn't already been said. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to say the least with what's going on with him.
Well, let me tell you something. We can only go by what's out in the public domain. By the way, these are all our thoughts and opinions, guys, okay? But there's been talk of him 12 million pounds or 10 million pounds, which is about $13-14 million to pay Virginia Giuffre. And that is guilty, even though this is only a civil trial. My personal opinion has been that she targeted him, and as soon as she runs out of money, she's going to sue somebody else because she's done it before. You know, she sued Epstein and she got $500,000, and when she ran out of money, then she sued Ghislaine, and Ghislaine gave her, I don't know, an undisclosed amount, but it was supposed to be a couple of millions. And now, because for me, Tumi, and maybe you may disagree with me, she said that she had been trafficked by countless men, right? And yet she only targeted Andrew. Mm-hmm. Because it's targeted. Mm-hmm. Because this is her chance to get all these people who trafficked her. Mm-hmm. For that, you know, and she only chose Andrew. What do you think about that?
Sorry, the video froze.
So what do you think about that?
I'm saying that the video just froze. I may need to connect on my phone. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know this is awkward because it's like a live stream, but let's see. Because the video keeps freezing, so I don't want to like. Let's see. Sorry. You could also just like, could you repeat what you said? Because I left off on the part.
Okay, what I said was that Virginia could have sued all the men that she said had trafficked her.
Yeah, exactly.
And she targeted Andrew.
Yeah.
So my opinion is that she's a liar, she's no victim, and she procured girls for Epstein, because actually one of the witnesses in Ghislaine Maxwell trial testified that the one who recruited her, and who was a very prolific recruiter, was Virginia Giuffre, and that she knew what she was doing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's very sketchy because the type of allegations that she's making, to me, if I had went through something like what she claims that she went through, I wouldn't settle with anybody. There's no amount of money that you could give me that would make me shut up about if you took me to an island and did all these unimaginable things with me with the most famous people in the world. Like you could give me $1 billion and I'd still be like, no, I'm not settling until you go to jail if the allegations are true. So what about the other men that allegedly took her around? Because there's other people that are listed on the flight logs. So, there's presidents, there's celebrities, there's all these other people. So like, why isn't she suing him? Why is it just him? Unless he was like the main person. But it's weird because there's even photos of her and Naomi Campbell together at events and all this kind of stuff. So it's not like, like what you said, that she was also in the gang with them, getting girls or getting women or whatever. So it just, to me, doesn't seem like somebody who went through something and is like, oh, I want justice. Because it's like, you did, if you did go through it, but then you were involved in it, doesn't that make you just as bad as those other people?
No, yeah, I agree. And I mean, and her and her lawyer had said that this was not about money, that there was no amount of money, that what she really wanted was an apology and admission from Prince Andrew. And we can see that she got neither. And it was about money at the end of the day. Hello?
Well, yeah, okay, all right. I just connected on my phone.
Okay,
So
cool. Okay, cool. So what do you think about that? Because she had said that it wasn't about money, that it was about, that she wanted Andrew a written and public apology about everything.
Okay. It's weird because I'm here. Let me leave the actual computer and then I will, hold on. Okay. Okay, this is better. Is this better?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course, always.
Okay, this is much better. Could you repeat what you just said? Sorry.
Yes, of course. No, that's okay. I was asking because I said that her original thing, even a couple of weeks back, they kept going on saying that it wasn't about money, that it was about getting an apology and admission from Prince Andrew. She got neither, and it was about money, and she got money. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, if it's not about money, why are you suing them? That's my question. Because a lawsuit, you need some sort of financial compensation, or like, okay, this is gonna happen because you're taking them to court over this, so it's pretty serious. So I think that when she first came out and basically, told her story, then it was like, okay, a lot of people had sympathy because they didn't really know the magnitude, but it just, something about it all strikes me as odd. I feel like that's really the meat and potatoes of my opinion, like something about it, like, because if you say, oh, it's multiple people, then why go for one?
And yeah, exactly. And to me, it was like she chose, I actually did a couple of videos. I'll mention a couple of things I've said. To me, it was just like when Harry and Meghan chose, because this was a conscious decision that they made, a very, very premeditated decision that they made to do that interview, on Oprah interview, when his grandfather was dying, when they knew that, they felt the royal family was very vulnerable. And I really do believe that they did it to cause as much damage as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
they of course knew that they were never going to say anything back. They know that they never really come out against, they don't really refute claims much, And the best that they could obviously say was recollections may vary. They're not gonna like, pull out a file with all of the actual proof, and it's just, but it is sad. Like when you kick someone when they're down, like that was the lowest blow,
Yeah, but this is how I feel also about Virginia, because she knew that she knows that for the royal family or the monarchy, I've always said it, that the only way that they can be effective is if they have excellent reputation, because then they represent us. Nobody wants to do business with with any organization or institution that has the worst reputation. So she knew that this was a way. This is the Jubilee year. I mean, she knew. I really do feel that she's a predator, but I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I wonder if she's going to go after the other men who trafficked her, or what do you think she's going to do?
Well, I feel like she's been going after Andrew for years, and then I know, of course, she went after Epstein, but he is gone under strange circumstances. So, she can't do that. But yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess time will tell, but the thing is, it seems like she's kind of acting like she's the only victim, or like she's the main victim, because I haven't seen all of the other ones. And it's crazy how the trial itself wasn't live streamed like other trials, or wasn't really put out there. And they said, oh, the details are too shocking. No, it's because it's people that we all know of who are involved. And that's why you don't want us to know. And then, we don't really have the details of the testimonies on that level that we should, as we would other people's trials, of like, we get like, the whole report, all of that kind of stuff. So it's just, I think it's unfortunate, because people on the flip side of her side, like people with money and wealth always find a way to protect themselves no matter what they do. So I think it's sad in regards to the trial that like, this is like the crime of the century, that whole situation with him and the island and the kids, the girls, and like, we don't know what happened. We don't really know what happened. We have like a Netflix documentary full of surface level information, but like the own victims, we don't hear their stories. Like, what if the stuff that happened with Virginia is literally on the surface, you know what I mean? And her aside, like that kind of stuff is so sickening, and it's just so evil that like there are people who actually like behave that way, and it's been covered up. And it's not just him. This stuff happens all the time, all over the world. There's so many kids who go missing every year, and nobody knows what happens to them. And they can't all just be like, like for the amount of people who go missing every year, the numbers don't make sense to say that, oh, they just ran away or whatever. Like something happens to them, but we don't know like that, because this stuff gets covered up, by the people who don't want us to know. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty sad. But maybe she'll sue. I mean, we'll literally have to wait and see. Maybe in 5 years she'll sue somebody else when the money runs dry. I don't know.
Well, the thing is that she has lawsuits. One of the other victims, Rena O, is suing her. And it's really interesting that she wasn't called as a witness against Ghislaine Maxwell. And actually, one of the victims, I said this, they identified Virginia Giuffre as the person who procured her and was happily teaching her what to do and everything. I hope that she gets sued. So I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't feel sorry for Andrew, because this has been going on since 2011. All he had to do was say, you know what? Yes, Jeffrey Epstein is my friend, so is Ghislaine Maxwell, but I didn't know they were like that.
But I think that's hard to say he didn't know that it was like that, especially the time where he went to visit him, I think after he got out of jail, and they were walking, I think in Central Park or something like that, and the photos were taken, and then like you saw him in the house, like, he was like at the door of the house, and like there were girls coming in and out. Like, I don't know if the girls were underage. I look young, but I'm 26. So it's just like, I don't know if the girls were underage. I don't know if they were of age, but it was just a sketchy situation. Like, I don't think that someone could be living in somebody's house and then like be hanging out with them regularly and not really pick up on things. But there are people who completely blindside you, like you had no idea that they were living a double life. But yeah, and I think obviously him doing the interview didn't do any favors. So,
Tommy, all he had to do was say, because there's a saying that you can't defuse a bomb once it's gone off. All you can do is pick up the pieces and assess the damage, right? So all he had to say, yes, they were my friends, but I didn't know what they were doing, and I regret my association with them. And I don't remember Virginia Roberts, and that because I really do think he doesn't remember her. So, but he was an idiot, and I did a couple of videos stating that before, people like Jeffrey Epstein, Meghan Markle would have never had access to a royal circle because they weren't allowed. They were vetted for the simple reason that they represent the institution of the monarchy. And this is one of the things that people, I believe, have problems. And I know that the monarchy is different than presidency, but it's just for people to understand that the presidency of the United States, for example, it's like the institution. It's a presidency. Then you have incumbents, like each president. I am a monarchist. I am for the monarchy. And unfortunately, it is, but this is just my opinion. Some of the royal family members are tainting the monarchy. I don't know if you've heard about Prince Charles and the cash for access thing.
Yeah, basically doing the same thing that Fergie was doing in a sense.
It's all over the papers, and now there's going to be a criminal investigation. And, the Queen deserves better. I am a huge fan of the Queen, and I think she deserves better. She deserves better. And then we have Harry and Meghan Markle. I wanted to ask you because some people, and now I'm starting to believe that, are saying that Meghan Markle was hired to target the royal family.
It's crazy because I had heard that rumor back in maybe it was 2020, maybe it was 2019, that like some random woman came out of nowhere, but she didn't like appear on video. She kind of went through like these random gossip websites and said that she was basically propositioned. She said she was like an African-American woman in the South. I don't know if it was Texas or wherever, that had a business, but it was like something relating with food. And that basically she was propositioned by some people who said, we can get you married. We could put you in a relationship with a very high profile guy and this and this and that. And it was like one of those things where like before the whole Meghan and Harry situation, like she was basically told she could be with Harry in a sense, in that kind of way. And it was just, I can't tell you whether I believed it or not, but it's like, even in Hollywood, a lot of these celebrity couples are not real. They're not really real. They're put together, and they're in PR relationships. And obviously, like, we know that there's always been marriages of convenience. There's always been people who married people of influence to do something like a honeypot. They call it a honeypot, a woman who's a spy, and then she dates a guy who's like just a spy on him or whatever. And they do it a lot with these Russian women in movies, that sort of trope. But it's just like it wouldn't really surprise me, but at the same time, I think that Meghan, just off of her life story and like going to Canada and stuff, she's always had a lot of ambition and has always wanted to be in a very high position of power. So I knew that after the Trevor divorce, she would marry somebody like of prominence. But I think that marrying a royal was like way out of her depth. You know what I mean? She should have just married some rich like producer or some guy who's like a businessman, but like marrying a royal is a whole different ballgame. But she wasn't really like, she didn't get it that marrying a royal is marrying a royal. It's not like marrying, I don't even know, like the head of Disney or something, But yeah, I have heard that. I don't know if it's true because I don't think she's that smart. I don't really think that she has because I think that somebody who was actually hired to bring down a family wouldn't only be there for 72, like for 18 months or for a year. Like I think that a person would have more of a longevity and more of tact to get people to like them, like genuinely like them, not just, oh, look, the new girl, because I think what Meghan had going for her was the Meghan mania, was the whole, oh, I'm new on the block sort of thing, like the charm of like, oh, she's new in the family, whatever. But then people kind of started to see through all of that. So I can't really say that I believe that she was hired to bring down the family because she's not smart enough. And like bring them down doing what? Like because her claims, the things that she's claiming, she has no evidence to back it up. She just has hearsay of like, oh, there were conversations about how dark Archie would be, but she's light and her husband is white, and it doesn't make any sense. And there, she had said after the interview that, oh, I have emails and I have text messages and I'm gonna put them out, and then that obviously never happened. So like, you know, I think it would be more of like if someone was really hired to bring down the family, it would be sort of like an Edward Snowden situation, or the other guy who's Julian Assange, where you actually get information, real information, and you put it out and everyone is like, oh my God, like actual bombshells. Not, oh, I'm mad because my son didn't get a prince title and that's it, you know.
Well, you know, I agree in some aspects. However, I don't think that she was, if anything, I don't think she would have been hired to bring down the monarchy, but more like to infiltrate it. The problem is that I think is that once she got a taste of it, because if you look at this, that wedding happened really quickly. They weren't even supposed to get married. They had to bump Eugenie because it was like a really quick, go. So this is a woman who needed that deal sealed very quickly. So I really think that once she got a taste of what was there, you know, it's like some people saying, oh, screw that, you know, I'm gonna keep it. You know that there's a saying that Meghan Markle used to say, don't give it 5 minutes if you're not gonna give it 5 years, right? Well, clearly she was not planning on giving the royal family, the monarchy, 5 years. Because she didn't even last, but let's face it, that year that she was there, she wasn't even in the country. She took so many personal trips.
Yeah. And the work trips, the royal tours and everything. She wasn't there.
But she was traveling all over the place. And then, so she didn't give it 5 years. This is a woman clearly who had a plan. I mean, I think that once, if she wasn't hired to infiltrate the royal family, once she found out, or once she ended up bumping or being set up in Harry, and she figured him up really quickly, and she got a hold of him very quickly. I think that immediately she started to do plans for other things. And what's incredible is that the royal family, the queen, our beautiful queen, they must have known what she was and who she was, but they were willing to overlook that and give her the benefit of the doubt because they knew that they were pulling her from the gutter. This is a woman, let's face it, in Hollywood at 36 years of age, you don't make it. She wasn't, there was nothing outstanding about her. You know, like her, they're like, you go to Hollywood, you go to California, they're like 20 times girls more beautiful than she was or anything. Even when she was the suitcase girl, she wasn't even in the front, she was way in the back. She was like number 24, 25, remember?
Yeah.
So I do find that she had an agenda, and I don't know if it's that she doesn't know how to react, because you can see that this is a woman who has estranged herself from everybody. You know, and it's funny. What do you think about Harry going to the Super Bowl with Eugene?
A lot of people are suspecting that he is trying to be the celebrity husband, like he's the one who actually like has the actual clout because of his connection to his family, obviously, and who he is basically, and it's his turn to be in the spotlight for now. But people are suspecting that he got like some cosmetic procedure done because she hasn't been seen since the Ellen show, so people are thinking that she's recovering from cosmetic procedures. And yeah, I
think that she has, because this woman, if she's going to the Oscars, this woman is gonna pull tuck and do everything. You know, she's gonna serve herself.
Yeah. Harry has admitted to reading the comments, so we know that she reads the comments. And so obviously when she wore the red dress to the veterans, very inappropriate, she read everything everybody said. So she was just like, she thought she looked good, but then it's like, she read the comments and was like, damn, I got to get myself together. You know what I mean? Which is kind of sad though, because obviously, I mean, whether she had Lily or not, whatever, like she gained weight, and that's fine. People gain weight. Weight fluctuates all the time. You know what I mean? But like, there's people who dress for their size. I've seen people who are big who know how to dress, and like everything fits, everything is tailored. They look amazing. And I would never look at a big person who knows how to dress for their size and say, oh, you need to lose weight, because what they're wearing makes them look good. It accentuates how they look. But if I'm wearing a dress that's literally 18 sizes too small, and I'm wearing red to a veterans event where they told me like this color could be triggering to them and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and the dress that she wore was really inappropriate, and everything about the dress just looked mad weird. And I feel bad for Carolina Herrera because she's made great like designs, and that was just a very weird looking dress. Like the cuts of everything was just cut mad weird. And yeah, it was just altogether bad. Because the thing is, if she looks good, I can say I've seen outfits of hers where I'm like, okay, she looks good here. I'm not a hater of that, you know what I mean? But it's just like there's people who literally have to learn. Like Melania Trump, for example, has a very interesting body shape as well. So does Priyanka Chopra. Like they are top heavy, but like waist, not really waist. They don't really have like large hips, so they're not really super curvy, but they find ways to dress for their shape that looks good, you know? And like obviously Megan has a short torso. And like she's short, she's not like a model. I'm not a model either. I'm 5'2". So like I have to wear clothes that like fit petite people. I'm not gonna wear clothes from the big and tall section. I'll look crazy. So it's just like I don't know if I don't know. Like I honestly don't know, because if I had that kind of fame and status, there are so many Hollywood stylists that I would just hire and be like, yo, could you dress me like you know? Because sometimes when you pick things out, you think you look good, but you don't really look good. And not everything that looks good on the rack, it's gonna look good on you. That's the thing. So just like the wedding dress, it looked loose. Like it just looked like they needed one more fitting, like, you know? So it's just, but yeah, I wonder if she's going to the Oscars. I've been hearing that, but we'll see. All right, time will tell. Just like, oh, the Met Gala and New York Fashion Week. Some people try to say, oh, they saw them at New York Fashion Week, but they weren't there. They were definitely not there.
No, I agree. I mean, and for me, you know, my problem I have, this is what people who call me racist and all kinds of things, you know, they tell me that Meghan Markle is that I just hate on her because she's biracial and because she's a Black woman. They don't even say biracial. She's a Black woman. And yeah. I'm looking and it's like, where are you, Black woman?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also, she not, contrary to what people believe, she doesn't have designers falling over their feet to dress her.
Yeah.
And unlike the Duchess of Cambridge, she actually buys the outfits that she wears. This is why they can tailor those outfits to her body. And what's important is that she listens to people. Meghan doesn't listen to anybody. You know, and now people are coming on saying that she's gonna have a reality show as though it's something new. And I'm laughing because I've been you go to my channel. That's the first thing I said a year ago. I mean, that people are now shocked about it. You know, it's like
I knew obviously with Netflix that they were gonna have, you know, they were gonna be doing an obvious so-called documentary / reality. Like, do you really believe? Do people actually believe that? Like, because the thing about it is, I don't know why people act like 2017 was 500 years ago. But it's very. You can look up, you know, the archives of her Instagram. She was very all over social media, posting bikini photos, always doing like videos, and even doing like, you know, the things that she did with Good Housekeeping and all these little the things for her blog. She loves being in front of the camera, obviously. But it's just this whole, you know, since she's been with Harry and he has a paranoia problem, you know, she's trying to act like, oh, I don't like the paparazzi. I don't like any of this. I don't like any of that. But it's like when you saw her in New York at the baby shower, she was having the time of her life with all those cameras there, you know, clicking away. So it's just like, obviously, there's no way. I believe that there's no way that Netflix and Spotify wouldn't have gotten them on without them doing a documentary or reality show about their life. They can literally sit there and be like, oh, we just wanted to make Pearl and this documentary about the Invictus Games or whatever. But no, because if Netflix is signing you, they have stipulations. And they're like, okay, well, this is what we want out of you because we know we're going to get views. So like you said, oh, I I divorced my abusive rich mogul Hollywood mogul husband, and I'm trying to get a deal with Netflix, and they're not going to tell me, okay, let's make a documentary about what you went through. Of course they're going to do that. So I 100% believe that they're going to do a reality show or documentary about, life with the Sussexes or whatever they're going to call it, like, the Royal New World, whatever. And they're going to be like, this is our life in Montecito. I 100% believe that, because even in Finding Freedom, they talked about how much Meghan filmed everything. They said she filmed so many things, like her dates with Harry, all that kind of stuff when they were in Kenya or wherever, Zimbabwe. She was always filming. Like, that was in like chapter 1. So I 100% believe we're going to see so many clips from the royal family, like, and everything. I believe it. I just do.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna make a little thing, because people, if you to the people who are watching us, guys, if you want to ask questions, you can do it. But make sure that you put 3 interrogation signs, because remember that I'm dyslexic, so I do get the interrogation signs, so I will be, if you ask and you put the 3 interrogation signs, I will look for it, and I will be able to look at it. Also, Tooth Fairy says, because we were talking about where is Meghan Markle black, right? And she said, when we turn off the lights. I thought it was funny.
No, yeah, I just opened the chat room right now. But no, yeah, I mean, like, obviously her mom, but it's like, there's the thing about it is like, it's kind of weird, because one of my friends who lives abroad basically told me that, like, biracial people are kind of their own thing, but America treats biracial people as if, like, you're 100% black, and like everyone who's mixed has 2 different sides to the story, obviously. You know what I mean? So it's just like Colin Kaepernick, for example, he's mixed, but he grew up in a white family, like in the suburbs, his whole life, and like obviously now he's very passionate about like BLM and all of this kind of stuff. And so it's just like, but it's like, that's a different experience than like growing up in the ghetto or whatever the case may be. But it's like, it's just like this thing of like, why is it that, because I mean, a lot of things like the 1-drop rule came from slavery, that, if you had any black blood in you, you were black. Even if you were white, you looked white. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's a little weird, because it's like, why do you have to identify as either or? You're literally 50-50. And you know what I mean? Like, both sides of your life are valid. You don't have to choose a side. Like Wentworth Miller, Vin Diesel, Mariah Carey, all of them are biracial people. And it's just like, these are like, celebrities you didn't know were black. Well, they're not 100% black. Obviously, they're mixed. You know what I mean? And like, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Like, what's the problem? There is no problem. So I just think it's unfair that they try to make people pick a side like that. Because if I marry someone who's not black and my kids are half and half, you don't have to pick a side. You're both of us. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed of your white identity or your black identity or your half Asian identity or your Indian identity or whatever half you are. Like, it's cool. It's valid.
No, I agree. And also, if you only identify the person as one race, you're basically denying the other part of the entire ethnicity of the genetic makeup of that person. And I was wondering, because I was confused, because I filled out a lot of forms of my life everywhere. And you always get black, white, Asian, Indian, whatever, like you want to call it, mixed race, and other. I mean, so if you're mixed race, so because remember when Meghan Markle said, Daddy, I don't know which box to tick, and then supposedly Mr. Markle said, you create your own box. That box has been there for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the whole thing about like, I don't like sob stories. There's a difference between sob stories and testimonies, because the good thing about a testimony is that we get the, I grew up, in a Satan worshiping cult and now I follow Jesus. We get the horrible side at the beginning and the good side at the end, and it's a victor mentality. But if everything is a sob story, like, when I was growing up, there were no biracial dolls, and when I was growing up, I was too white for the black kids and too black for the white kids, and it's just like, why does everything have to be so damn hard? Like, why? Your dad literally won the lottery and paid for you to go to school. Stop. Like, please, like, literally, please stop. Some of us are literally struggling to pay our student loans. Like, please stop. I cannot do it. whatchamacallit. So, what is this? Someone had asked me, do I think that the pregnancies are going to be uncovered? Honestly, the pregnancy thing is a lot for me to even think about, because I mean, I watched a Netflix show where this guy basically, like, his wife went missing or something crazy like that, and the cops thought that he murked her. But then she literally, like, he discovered that her life was a lie and that she faked her pregnancies for attention. Like, she bought fake ultrasounds online and had a moon bump, and then said that she had a miscarriage and like all this kind of stuff, and put him through all this emotional turmoil. And it was just nuts. And so literally, like, she had a friend who faked her pregnancy because I guess the woman had been through a miscarriage, and then like loved the feeling of being pregnant and the attention, and would literally go to cafes wearing a moon bump, because obviously when you see a heavily pregnant woman, you're like, hey, let me open the door for you. Like, hey, are you okay? Like, you're very cautious and like aware of that person and very polite. You know what I mean? I've never seen somebody be rude to an overly pregnant woman. So I think that the whole concept of somebody faking their pregnancy is the most vile, like super duper evil, like thing that anyone could do. Like, it's very scary. And it's like, if let's just say she did, let's say allegedly that she did, I would be absolutely like, and the proof, literally proof came out, I would be terrified. Like, I'd be like, this person literally needs to be locked away because they're a danger to themselves and society, because they're sick and psychotic, and there's nothing that they wouldn't do for attention. You know what I mean? Because like, to me, that's just terrifying. Like there's no shame in surrogacy or adoption or anything like that. There is no shame at all. But the thing is, obviously, if you marry into a royal family, the child needs to be born of your body. And if you, let's say you can't get pregnant, or you froze your eggs and somehow, you know, you're climbing the ladder and you can't get pregnant, things aren't the way that they should be in the family that you're in. You can't just adopt a child and then pass them off as royal. They're not going to amend their centuries old laws for that, unfortunately. So then you get desperate, and then desperate times call for desperate measures, and then you fake a pregnancy. But then, like, what's done in the dark is always going to come to the light. So it's just very creepy to think that if she did, that's just like extremely scary. And how did everyone in the family not know?
Well, let me tell you something. I think, let me put it this way. She had extreme goodwill from the people. Remember the wedding and everything. Mm-hmm. If she had said, I have medical reasons that I can't carry the baby, but I do have eggs, you know, viable eggs, and we can do surrogacy, you know, I can guarantee you that the royal family or parliament would have modified the laws to say that as long as the child carries the DNA of both of the royal person and the mother, that could have been done. But the whole thing is the dishonesty of it all. You know, it's the dishonesty of it all. If she did it, it's the dishonesty of it all and that is fraud. If she did it and she's lying to the royal family, because there are protocols for royal births, and basically, especially for Harry, because he was sixth in line to the throne, right? And it's that you notify the royal family. The queen has to be notified for many reasons. Security, if anything happens to her and she dies or something, the palace has to be informed, right? And also, they usually have royal doctors present, you know. But this time, they didn't even notify the palace. Nobody knew. This is why they got the time wrong in the easel that they put outside, and they had to correct it later on. It's the only time this has happened, that the easel information, the information placed on the easel was wrong, because nobody knew when the child was born. And they didn't even put the names of the doctors because they didn't even have that information. So, and for me,
what is the big secret? Like, why out of all the children born, like, you know what I mean? I mean, even Jesus was born in a manger. It wasn't some big, like, you know what I mean? It's like, why do you feel like you have to hide everything, lie about everything? Like, what are you hiding? It's just shady. And the worst part is that I hate people in general who say you can't ask a question. I hate it when you, like, and not just with them. I mean, I feel like if you cannot ask a question about anything, then the person who is trying to stop you from asking questions is trying to manipulate you. And I feel like that also when it comes to like religion, all these different things, like some people literally, like I have a friend who asked me like, oh, Tumi, like, is it okay to ask questions about the Bible? I'm like, obviously, of course. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things you could read in it that ask questions. Like I'm a Christian. You asked me this morning before I got on here if I believe in God. I do 100%. And it's like, but I'm not a person who just goes to church and believes whatever the pastor tells me. I ask questions and I actually try to read the text for myself and understand it and do research. Because if you literally just don't ask any questions, you don't know for yourself. You know what I mean? You're not using your brain. You're just saying, oh, I'm just going to go along for the ride. So it's like if somebody's doing something sketchy, like, and you ask questions and people say, oh, you're trying to hate on me. You're like this and you're like that. And I cannot believe that you're asking. And then, of course, they'll say, oh, you're racist because you're questioning a Black woman. No, dude. In case people haven't noticed, look at me. You know what I mean? You could ask me a question and it's not offensive. Like people get, you know what I mean? And okay, let me see. People in the
And the chat I can see here. I gotta tell you something. Meghan Markle is no spring chicken, and she does yoga. So do I. So do I. Believe it or not, people, I am very fit, and I do a lot of yoga. And when I was at Mega, I had Henrik when I was 33, right?
Mm.
And I was super fit. I'm not joking. I mean, I was really fit, and I can tell you that squatting with your legs crossed, that's impossible. And I dare anybody on this earth, on this planet, grab a pillow, fold it tight over, tie it around your lower legs above, your hoo-hoo, and try to bend over with both legs closed, especially a little when you're 7 or 8 months, especially that belly kept growing, disappearing. She's better than David Copperfield with magic tricks.
Yeah.
I can tell you that when I was pregnant, that thing only grows and grows and grows and grows. It doesn't disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, let me see what, by the way, people are asking where you are. This is Tumi Yukii. I will leave the link to her channel because she's amazing. So you guys, yes. She's more famous than I am. She's got like almost 30,000 followers you have. Amazing, you kick ass, I gotta tell you. So you guys have follow her. So if you have questions for her, go ahead and ask.
One day we'll be at 1 million, I believe it. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's like we all have eyes in the brain. You know what I'm saying? Like we're seeing things that just don't make any sense, and we're asking questions, and there are people literally trying to shut us up for asking questions. Like I was telling people that every time I make a video about Meghan and Harry and their names are in the what is this thing? In the title, my comments get shut off. Like YouTube literally will shut off my comments 4 to 5 times in 1 hour every time I make a video about them. And it's just ridiculous because it's like, why can't I ask a question? I used to be a fan of her. I used to run a fan page for Meghan and got over 10,000.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, mate. I gotta tell you. I mean, I was shocked when you told me that. I couldn't get over it. It's like, I have to, and I've asked you before, was it just because she was biracial? Because if you go by her achievements, she had none.
No, it wasn't. No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, no. I mean, I just really like the idea of royalty. So like, it's cool to see like modern people get involved in that world. But like, I like the idea that she was selling us. You know what I mean? Like, I knew nothing about her until she got engaged to Harry. That's when I first ever like noticed who she was, but I like the image, the PR crafted image of, oh, I'm a fashion blogger, I'm this and I'm that and whatever. And then obviously things just started to just fall apart. Like certain things just didn't make any sense. Like I didn't know much about him. Like I was just confused by that because I'm like, what? Like, there's so many things. Like I've talked about this on my own channel and my own videos about like how I was a fan and how I had a fan page and like how I stopped running a fan page and how I stopped being a fan. So yeah, it was it has nothing to do with her race, because I mean there's lots of white women that I like who are like very prominent people, but I don't think I have the energy to run a fan page anymore, because if I did, like I have a royal critique page where I post occasionally. I used to post on there every day, but I'm more of an occasional person. Royal watching kind of just burnt me out, but I still keep up with the Kardashians. I just don't really like and I mean that metaphorically. I still keep up with the royal family, but I'm not as deep in the mix as I was before, because it's just like the Sussex squad is insane. They're always coming out of the woodworks and attacking. They literally tried to hack my Instagram. Like I had a really crazy time involved in the fan page space. So like I got burnt out. So I was just like, yo, I can't really like run it like I used to, So it was.
Let me read a comment. Let me read a comment because I'm going to answer this guy right now. I don't know if it's a guy or a woman. Sanju Poon or Sanhu Poon. Prince Harry and Meghan did Archie's birth secret because they want to protect their children from people like you who are Donald Trump fans, conspiracy theorists, and Meghan Markle haters. That's all. By the way, Sanju, if you actually follow me, you would know that I call out anybody who is corrupt. I've called out Prince Charles. I called out Prince Andrew. I've called out pretty much everybody. And I've gotten so much hate mail for that. And Meghan Markle, the reason why I call her out is because, by the way, they were not protecting their children because they are the ones who keep exposing their children. For example, she did that perp walk in California when she was taking Archie to how do you call it, to kindergarten, and she got a picture with his face, which is really odd because in California they're not allowed to show the kid's face. They have to blur it. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, they only show the face if you called the paparazzi. They blur the face out if it's like they are the ones who found you and took the photos. So like everybody in California who's paparazzi, of course they know about that. You know what I mean? Like if you look at what is her name? Gigi Hadid, she's always like, taking walks with her kid, and all of these other celebrities, you never ever see their face, like ever. But yeah,
even Ryan Reynolds, for example, he goes for a walk with his children. Even what's his name? Jennifer Garner, when they see them with kids, and they always, when they see them on the streets, they always, blur their faces. Because and Meghan Markle didn't sue them.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Yeah. So yeah, Sanju, I mean, okay, why do people bring up Trump? What does Trump have anything to do with this? We talked about Ivanka for a little bit because obviously, if people don't really know that Meghan.
I do like Trump. I don't. Meghan, I really do like Trump. So what?
Meghan was.
I love Al Gore. I think Al Gore would have been a great president, better than George Bush Jr. And I like George Bush Jr., but I just think he's an idiot. He wasn't qualified to be president. And I do think Al Gore would have made an excellent president. I think he would have been a very measured guy as president, and there was a lot of things that I agree with him, but, it wasn't meant to be. But I like Trump, and I don't like what the press is doing right now. I don't know if you know about what's it called? The thing that, I don't know if you get any of this press, what's going on with Hillary Clinton spying.
I mean, this though, you know what I mean? Like we said it back in 2016, but of course we got called, you crazy conspiracy. That's all they know how to say is conspiracy theorists and racist. Those are the two words that they just throw when anybody says anything they don't like. Like I said before, whenever people say you can't ask questions, they're trying to put you in a cult. They're literally trying to put you in a cult. And it's just like, I can go on and on about this because like I said, I'm a Christian, but I asked questions about the Bible. That's why my faith is so strong, because I asked why is this like this? How did this happen? Who are these people? What is this talking about? What is this? Could any of this even be found in history? Who are these people groups? And I did my own research, and I was like, okay, I'm even more of a strong Christian now that I've actually done research for myself and actually asked the questions that I had, instead of somebody telling me don't ask questions, just whatever. But it's just like people like this are like, oh, so you mean to tell me that the royal family, who has their own security and could literally like clear out the streets of London if they wanted to with their security guards, Meghan had to run off to the hospital in the middle of the night and not tell a soul because what? Paparazzi are going to follow her to the hospital and make her car flip over? Come on. That's ridiculous. But yeah, like it's just like, what does Trump have to do with anything? And what do conspiracies have to do with anything?
So I think that's Meghan Markle, actually. Sanju, what's his name? Sanju, is that you, Meghan? Because she's known to have fake accounts and to basically go anywhere. You know what, Sanju Poon, I don't know what's his name. Is that you, Meghan? I've compared Meghan to herpes, because you know what herpes is like, this nasty viral disease that never goes away. You can only manage it sometimes. It flares up when you least suspect it. It's ugly to look at. It's just an awful disease, and it's very inconvenient. And she's like that. This is the woman that's like herpes, and people were laughing about it, but it's true. That's what she reminds me of, this really horrible disease. And it's an embarrassment because she was given an opportunity by our most gracious Queen Elizabeth II. Can you imagine that this woman was in the presence of such a lady, of a queen? I mean, to me, I can't believe it. I mean, wakala.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, it's just, I think it's insane that there's always somebody who, no matter how biased, no matter how biased they are, like, even if somebody is like a super duper duper Democrat and I don't agree with them on a whole lot of things, if they present their opinion without, the yelling, the screaming, the names that they try to call, I'll listen to them and just be like, yo, what is your opinion? Tell me why you think this way, and I'll sit and I'll be quiet and I'll listen to you. But if you want to start with, oh, you're racist, you're sexist, the isms, all the isms, I already know you don't even know what you're talking about, because all you know how to do is yell and get emotional. So people like this guy, Sanju, whoever this is, talking about, oh, she had to give birth to her baby in secret. So Princess Diana, the most photographed woman of the 20th century, didn't have to run into the hospital in the middle of the night and give birth to her kids in secret.
No, and the funny thing is that when you have nothing to hide, you do everything publicly. I mean, not publicly in that sense. For example, if you're pregnant or something, and you're the member of the royal family, you have the will of the entire nation because everybody was happy for you. I mean, this is a woman. I've never seen a woman touch her stomach so much. Or remember all the coat flicking she used to do? It's like, I gotta do this, get my angle here, get my angle, the coat's getting in the way. I gotta take a picture, coat here, it's like, and at the same time, and she said it in the Oprah interview. She said that because she demanded for titles, just like Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, that they were given those titles. And because she wasn't given those titles, then she decided to keep her kid away from, as punishment, she was not going to show the world the kid as well. It wasn't because she was trying to keep him private, because you're going to see those kids in this reality show. Make no mistake. And it is my belief that she was kicked out of Kensington Palace because she was caught recording. It wasn't just about the bullying. It was that she was caught recording.
It's weird. I mean, I had heard a rumor that when she gave birth, that when Archie, I think it was when Archie was born or that Lily was born, that she was gonna film, like that everything was basically being filmed, like while they were also in the royal family. Because the thing about it is, remember when Oprah had said, oh, I wanted to sit down with you before the wedding, but the timing was off. So they had been planning this for a long time. They had already been planning some sort of entertainment, something. And even they had talked about how she was spotted in Notting Hill going to get beauty treatments and all of this kind of stuff. And there's so many photos of her when she said that she didn't leave the house in 4 months, but the paparazzi, like the British press, didn't want to run the stories because you know how they have that rule that like when the royals are out and not in royal duties, they just leave them alone for the most part,
No,
So,
I get it. No, I get it. And this is the thing that really bothers me because it affects the reputation of the monarchy. And if the monarchy does not have a good reputation, that they can't do their job effectively. Because the worse the reputation, the less prestige, and therefore, because the monarchy gets sent out when everything else fails. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Queen's latest, she welcomed these two guys. By the way, I want to apologize because I did call the big guy fat. I didn't mean to call him fat. It's a big guy, but I did my video today this morning on, because you see the Queen, I sort of I really cried because I really love her. And when she said, well, you can see I can't walk, she's 90, please people. She's 95 years of age. She's 95 years young. And she's still working. She was at work yesterday, and she's not bitching, moaning. She's doing her job. And And you know, this is a lady, and this is the thing that gets to me. This is a lady who campaigned to have Mandela freed. And as soon as he was freed, she got on her yacht, Britannia, and she went to see him, and she made a big deal out of it. She created the Commonwealth, which is incredibly diverse. And she made Harry and Meghan president and vice president of the crown jewel of what she had worked her entire life for. And they're calling this lady racist. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and it's really crazy because, you know, when people don't really understand history, the queen was born in the position that she was born, obviously, because that's just her lot in life. Like, she couldn't help that she was born into that family. And people kind of don't really understand the difference between the British Empire, the colonial British Empire that was obviously running around colonizing the world, as did many other countries and nations, and everybody has been colonized at one point in time. So people get mad, really angry when you talk about to certain people about, like, you know, the British royal family. The British royal family that exists now has nothing to do with slavery and colonization. Slavery had been over by the time that the queen was born and that her parents were born and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just like, what does she have to do with any of that stuff? You know, and it's crazy because, you know, I've just heard a lot of things. I'm not going to get into them right now because we'd be here for another like 2 hours talking about, like, there's a lot of, I guess, anger that came up because certain people feel like, you know, they take so many things personal. And what I don't like is that when it comes to race, a lot of people feel like, oh, Meghan or anybody who's Black, we have to defend them. And I don't defend bad behavior. If Jeffrey Dahmer was Black, I'm definitely not going to defend him. You know what I mean? If anybody does bad behavior, I'm not going to defend them. I don't care who they are. If the Pope does something bad, I'm not going to defend him. I'm not Catholic anyways, but I'm not going to defend him. So some people literally feel like, oh, because we're the same race, the same religion, the same country, I have to defend you. And no, right is right and wrong is wrong. And people really need to understand that, because for whatever reason they don't. And, you know, a lot of people take these celebrities that don't give a damn about them, that wouldn't visit them in the hospital, and literally think that, oh, Meghan is, you know how many people have heard Meghan is a Black queen?
I gotta tell you something. Stupidity is colorblind. You're stupid in any color. You're a liar in any color. Let me tell you that, man. You're an imbecile in any color. You're a crook in any color, you know? I don't understand why people, and the first thing that people throw at us is, you're racist. You're a Trump lover. And like, what? So what? You know, yeah, okay. I'm not racist, but I'm not devoted to Trump, but I like him, and I think he's had a bad rep because of other political powers. But calling out a behavior, and if you guys, and you guys all know my channel, you know that I call out Andrew, I call out Charles, and I get a lot of hatred. I mean, I just recently got a bunch of death threats from people who are very, very big fans of Charles, you know, Prince Charles. But you know, and YouTube also, YouTube censors, and I got a bunch of emails from people telling me that I haven't subscribed them. I haven't done it. I don't even know we can do that. I don't think we can.
You can't. The thing that you do is you can hide somebody from your channel if they, like, basically, like, in the comments, you can hide them from your channel. So, like, even if they comment, you won't see it, but you cannot unsubscribe somebody from your channel. I don't think I can even look at the list of people subscribed to me. I just see the number. So yeah. YouTube unsubscribes, because I've followed people that I just woke up and I'm like, what happened to such and such? I haven't seen them in a long time. And then I go to their channel and I was unsubscribed. And I know I didn't hit the unsubscribe button. So YouTube, they have their hand in all of that. So, yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with Meghan Markle? Do you think that people in the United States are going to buy her BS? Because I think that what she's trying to do, and this is the thing that I talked about, Tumi, that she, remember how she did the thing with within Oprah, where Oprah said you were silent or silenced, remember? And she does the latter one. I really hate her. And then she said but now she was in California, out of the royal family, secured a contract with Spotify, which is a worldwide platform. And instead of her using that platform to champion her causes. For example, unpaid leave, paid leave for parents, BLM that she was into for a while, voting rights. Why didn't she use that platform? And it's not expensive. You just call some mates and you like you and I mean, but this is not Spotify, clearly, I mean, it doesn't cost anything. You just talk to people and you upload it. And instead she started sending letters to the Senate as the Duchess of Sussex, which is unconstitutional in the United States, and started cold calling Republican senators, where do you, and now it's been finally announced that she's doing a reality TV show. Where do you see her going? Do you think the Americans are going to take her?
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna watch the show just because I feel like it. I just want. I'm gonna. I want to know how it goes, right? But but at the same time, I don't. The crazy part is that the Oprah interview did not go well. A lot of people didn't watch it compared to like Oprah has done views, like real views. Like she was the queen of TV at one point in time. She had the Oprah effect that whatever she recommended got sold out. Like she was that girl. She was that woman for a long time. But people don't really want to hear rich people complain. And because of everything that happened in the world with Kofifi, I can't say the actual word, but everything that happened with Kofifi, people got tired of like Hollywood whining. They don't care about, like people are trying to feed their families. So the last thing people want to hear is like, oh, I was living in a mansion and it was so hard. And like, I was going on all these trips. Like we live in a time of Google. It's very easily disprovable that, oh, I didn't leave the house. But yes, you did. You've been photographed over 200 times in 72 days or whatever
and
it
I
was.
think Hillary Clinton went to see her in Frogmore Cottage. She had Ellen and Portia Rossi coming to see her at Frogmore Cottage. I mean, and when people didn't go, then she would go to them. She went to two weddings in Italy in August. She went to Canada after her wedding to see what's her name? I can't remember her ex-friend's name. This woman was everywhere. She went to Amsterdam. Everywhere. And
then of course the honeymoon that we don't know where they actually went. And then we know that they apparently went on a pre-baby thing, like a baby moon before the baby came, Archie, whatever. So it's like, we're not dumb. Like I was born in the morning, but I wasn't born this morning. And it's just annoying that people don't like when you think that they're stupid. Like, oh, what? Because we're not rich? Because we're not like living in the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You think we're literally that dumb? Like, what? But where I think that they're going to go, I just think that they're going to keep trying the whole, American royal family, Netflix, like Kardashian vibe. Like, I think obviously the show is going to come out. I think the first episode is going to have the most views and, that's it. And then like maybe it'll downtrodden from there. But obviously Pearl and all the projects that they're working on are going to happen. But I don't really think that they're ever going to get the A-list treatment that they're hoping for. People are just gonna be like, okay, you may have bought your ticket or you're here, but we're not your friends like that. Like
they don't like people. Let me tell you something. The A-listers don't like people who trash their own family. I think even Michelle Obama said how important family was. Remember? And when they asked her about what she thought about the interview, she said family is very important and that everybody's born for service, to serve others. And the A-list and people in Hollywood, they don't like rats. They don't like people who treat their family poorly, And it's not only the Markles, the white Markles, but it's also the Raglans, the black Raglans, that are getting the short end of the stick because they don't. This was a great platform. Her sister has MS, advanced MS. This was a chance for her to embrace her family and maybe be the patron for MS and champion that, This was a chance for her to bring her Black family and say, you know what, this is my family, promote unity, to work within the Commonwealth, Queen's Commonwealth Trust to do stuff. And this is what we have, a reality show in California because nobody would hire them. Because that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think it's sad because, like there are people who, I know that obviously Princess Mako of Japan, you know, she left the royal family, but she's living in New York. You haven't heard a peep from her. She's not going to go on TV and trash her family. She just wanted to get married. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of pickings for Japanese male royals because they kind of dissolved a lot of the monarchy in Japan after World War II. So if she had to get married, she had to get married to a commoner. So she had to leave the family for love. And she did it, and she did it gracefully, and she's living her best life in New York and just chilling. But, you know, family's not perfect. Everybody has a very interesting relationship with their family, as do I, but I'm never, ever going to get on. I don't care what happens in my family. I'm never going to get on national TV and do some stupid ass tell-all interview and trash my own parents. Because whatever happens with us behind closed doors, yeah, that happens with us behind closed doors. And if it's that bad, I just won't talk to them. And I'll just be like, you know what? Respectfully, I love my family, but we just don't talk. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, that the public lies, all the public lies about her schooling, about everything, it's so necessary. And to me, I really think, first of all, the Constitution of the United States does not allow her to use, as a public figure, does not allow her to use a title, especially to lobby in politics. You know, but she doesn't want to let go of the title. She doesn't want to be linked. She wants to be ranked. You know, and I find, to me, she is a disgrace to the institution of the monarchy. You know, it's that, because she's not doing all this craziness as Meghan Markle. She uses the title for everything. She didn't use her own name to write that letter to Senate. She didn't use her own name to cold call the senators, and she's abusing the little influence she still has, or, you know, because they don't have, if you to continue, the more craziness she does, the more she denigrates the title and the monarchy, because by using that title, which is linked to the monarchy, it denigrates the monarchy, and that I do have a problem with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy because it's like, you know, even I know people obviously talk about the presidency a lot because, you know, living in America, we have presidents. It doesn't feel like we have one now, but we do. And it's just one of those situations where it's like, yeah, of course, when Trump was in office, a lot of people were like, how could you say this? How could you say that? You're being unpresidential, you know? But then also, on the flip side, I'm not trying to get too into the medical stuff, but, you know, there was a time where in December, there was a whole, they issued a statement talking about, oh, if you didn't get the, you know what, then, you know, you're facing a winter of severe illness and death. And it was like, what? We just like, what? People were like, what did you say? And it's like, there are certain things that are personal choices. And if you want to get the, you know what, the jibby jabby Jew, that's on you. Yeah, I mean, that's on you. If you want to get it, okay. If you don't want to get it, okay. But there shouldn't be like I don't talk to you because you didn't get it, or we're ostracized, or I look at you as less than a person because you got it or didn't get it. And it's like literally putting out a statement, wishing death on people, saying that you're going to die. You and your families are going to die because you didn't get it. I'm like, that's very unpresidential to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's so, like, that was just so extreme. I don't know if anybody in the comments saw that statement too, but I was like, what? Like, I was a bit shocked. Like, I was like, I didn't expect it. I literally didn't expect that the actual White House would put out a statement telling me that, like, oh, y'all are all gonna die. Like, it was just odd, and it was just ridiculous. You know what I mean? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like eating at a restaurant. If you want to go there, McDonald's is never gonna go out of service. Like, it's always gonna be there. If you want to go get it, you're gonna go eat that Big Mac and enjoy yourself. But if you don't want to eat it, am I supposed to force you? You know what I mean? And it's just like, as citizens, we don't live in North Korea, and as citizens of this country or anywhere, we should all have bodily autonomy. You know what I mean? Like people could disagree and agree on whatever they want, but that was just weird. Sorry, I totally got off topic from whatever we were talking about.
No, that's fine. We can talk about anything. That's fine.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me because, my first career was a physical therapist and I did an internship. When you're studying in Canada, they send you spend some time in university and then they send you to the hospitals, right? And I remember there was a family that they were the type of Christians that they don't accept medication or anything. And we needed to have a blood transfusion, right? And they refused it. And there was nothing we could do because of religious beliefs and you can't force, so I'm very shocked by all of that, so I don't know, it's kind of terrible. But anyways, I'm going to go. It's 9:00. You've been here with me 1 hour. Now, people, beautiful people, go to Tumi Yukii. I will leave the link. And please, 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 we can all agree to disagree. I have friends of mine that are absolute Democrats. I have some that are absolute Republicans. And let me tell you what, we all have very friendly discussions and we laugh and we joke about everything. But now it's become, if you're not this, then you're my enemy. Let me put it this way. It's like when I am a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Amazing. And people say that Messi is the GOAT. I don't get into fights with them. They have a right to say that, and I take Cristiano very seriously. But people, I hate it when they come at us with they're not arguments, when they have nothing to counteract or give an opinion, they immediately attack with, as you said, the many racisms, or what was it that you said?
All the isms. Oh, racism, homophobia, oh, Muslamophobia, whoa. You're sexist, oh.
Do you feel that you've been attacked even by Black people because you speak out or you call out Meghan Markle?
I get comments every day on videos that I made a year ago talking about, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself as a Black woman attacking other Black people. And it's like, dude, we're not, what? Like, first of all, like I said, if Jeffrey Dahmer was Black, I would not defend him. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where like I said, right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you think something is a little sketchy, why can't you ask the question? If I donated $30,000, if you donated $30,000 to my organization, right? Or let's say that I was like, oh, I need money to pay my student loans, which I do. And you gave me $30,000, that would be great. But then you literally saw me driving a new car next week. You'd be like, is that the money that I gave her? You know what I mean? Like, where did the money go? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, or you saw me, oh, going to the Gucci store. I upload a vlog. Hey guys, come shopping with me at Gucci, buying new bags. You'd be like, is that the $30,000 that I gave her that's buying Gucci? Wouldn't you ask that question? And I said, you're racist, Paula. I can't believe you would accuse a Black woman of taking money and just buying Gucci. Like, bro, I didn't have money to buy Gucci yesterday, but you gave me the money and I ran to the Gucci store or wherever I ran to. Or you tell me go buy a first class ticket. I'm in Turks and Caicos on the beach drinking out of a coconut. Like, wouldn't you be like, yo, this, what? Like, is that not fair to ask? So if people say, oh, they gave donation money to Archwell, what happened to the money? Or, oh, ba. Oh, talking
about that. You know that the tax file, they have until September this year, but in the preliminary tax filing, they said that they made 50,000 or less, right? And then they had expenses of 56,000 from the lawyers in the UK. Okay, let me break it down. Remember that during Helen's show, the one that when she appeared in Helen, didn't she donate like $20,000 or something like that? How much did she donate in public?
I don't even remember. And then when they went to the restaurant in New York, the Black-owned restaurant, they promised a donation. And where's all that money going to come from? Their personal funds, you know? Ew. Yeah, so it's just like, it's okay to ask a question. And people, like I said, like people literally, like, I have been attacked so many times. Like literally the sugars will be like, oh, you're jealous of her because you're not light-skinned. Oh, you're jealous of her because she's with white men.
Are you serious? Have they said that to you?
Yeah, I've gotten that so many times. And I'm just like, first of all, like white men like me. Men in general like me. I'm a straight woman. Men in general like me and I like men. But like white guys are the ones who have pursued me. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part in my life. So like.
There you go, Tumi.
Criminal. I'm not
Hit
gonna
him,
sit
hit him with the broom, get them out of the way.
yeah. out of the way. No, but it's just like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, what is this fascination with, like, because a lot of times, like, there was a Sussex page from Tanzania. They said that they were from Tanzania on their page, and they were literally like talking mad trash, like, oh, I know you're not the one opening your dirty mouth about Harry and jealous about this and that. First of all, I'm trying to figure out what I have to be jealous of, because the thing about it is Meghan is 40, however old she is. She's 20 years older than me, right? I can be where she's at and better when I have 20 years. I have another 20 years to accomplish whatever they think that I am jealous of. So if I want to be an actress, I can. If I, like, first of all, I'm an animator. Like, I draw comics. I have my own comic out. I'm working on this. I told you the other day, like, I was working on my comic. I have my own comic out. I speak Japanese. I understand Hindi from watching too many Bollywood movies. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be in a rock band when I was in high school and was performing at venues when I was 14 and 15 and 16 years old. And like, I wrote a book that's on Amazon. My first book got 200,000 reads before I even put it on Amazon. So like, what are these people even talking about? You know what I mean? The thing about it is you do things in silence and then you pop out of the box. So for me, I'm like, I'm not the person who's going to sit here and brag about the things that I've done or that I'm going to do and all of this kind of stuff, because I'm like, all right.
Hello, Tumi. Don't tell me you froze again.
In Argentina, I did this, I did that. I've never heard her
But
speak
it seems like
Spanish.
Tumi froze.
I've never seen her. People talking about you're with Harry. I could be with an actor. I could be with a model. I could be with a musician. I could be a CEO if I wanted to. That's not my priority right now. My priority is to do my own thing right now, and then literally like get in a relationship when I don't need to be with a man to make my come true. I can make them come true on my own. I don't need a Trevor Angleson. I don't need a Harry to elevate me. I'm elevating myself. So I just don't get it. Like,
no, but you're amazing. I mean, this is the thing that people don't understand, that Meghan needs a man to support her. We don't.
Exactly. So,
you know, I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna go. Thank you very much. As I said, go to Tumi's channel. We're gonna support and love the hell out of you. And I'm so happy you came. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're amazing.
I need a break from Harry and Meghan because they just give me.
Yeah. We're gonna do another. I think we should do a live about what you're doing in your comics, and you can show us some of that stuff. You know, so that should be really fun. My son is actually a big comic guy, so it's really, really funny. You know, he has his own YouTube channel with playing games. What the hell he does. But yeah, we'll do another live and we'll do something nice and something fun to talk about. Okay, sweetie, thank you for joining me, Tumi.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you. Bye, Paul. Have a good night.
Bye, you too.